the Ministry of Petroleum has mandates, was handed down 9 mandate areas in 2019. And of course, the vision of the ministry is to deliver a thriving oil and gas energy industry for Nigeria. The PIA has also cut out a very clear role for the Ministry of Petroleum. That is to formulate, administer, and monitor policies for the petroleum sector. Our mission, therefore, as a ministry, is to ensure an enabling environment to improve the oil and gas value chain, driven by modern technology, industry best practices, stakeholder engagement, and innovations in alternative energy. The 9 mandate areas that were handed down to the ministry were: 1, to eradicate the smuggling of PMS across Nigeria's borders; 2, to complete the gas flare commercialization program; 3, to increase crude oil production to 3 million barrels per day; 4, to reduce the cost of crude oil extraction by at least 5%; 5, to aggressively promote the passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill as it then was; 6, to promote the Deep Offshore and Inland Basin Production Sharing Contract Amendment, the passage of that bill as it then was; 7, working with private sector operators to increase domestic refining capacity; 8, to collaborate with private sector to create many well-paying jobs; and 9, to implement a strategy towards taking 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. So as a ministry, we consolidated this into a roadmap. Short-term, which you can see, this is the short-term roadmap which you can see on the screen. And then mid-term, and then a long-term roadmap. You can see all that on the screen. As you know, the Ministry of Petroleum is made up of agencies. There are 8 main agencies under the purview of the Ministry of Petroleum: the NNPC Limited, the NUPRC, NMDPRA, NCDMB, NNRA, Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Authority, PTDF, and Petroleum Training Institute. So, as a ministry, what were the priority areas that were identified? As a ministry, we identified the development of gas as one area of priority. So we launched the National Gas Expansion Program. We were also able to secure a $250 billion intervention facility from the CBN for gas project development. We also prioritize the increase in the establishment of LPG plants and modular refineries. We also prioritize the need to simplify processes for bid round and cost reduction, increase prospect of foreign direct investment in the sector via bilateral and multilateral agreements. The NNPC, on its own side, prioritized also certain areas: production and reserve growth, that is the upstream side, venture capitalization and commercialization, expansion of gas sector footprint to stimulate industrialization, gas and power, enhancement of local refining capacity, petroleum product supply and national energy security, availability of critical downstream infrastructure. These were the areas as prioritized by NNPC. The NUPRC, on its own side, also prioritized these other areas, monitoring petroleum industry operations to ensure that it's in line with national goals and aspirations, including those relating to flare down and domestic gas supply obligations, ensuring that health, safety, and environment regulations conform with national and international best practices, maintaining records on petroleum industry operations, particularly on matters relating to petroleum reserves, production, exports, licenses, and leases, advising government and relevant government agencies on technical matters that may have an impact on the administration and petroleum activities, promulgation of new regulations for upstream operations. The PTI prioritized training of key technical manpower and collaboration with partnerships. The PTDF prioritized building capacities, capabilities, and competencies, commencement of training on PIA processes for all personnel in public agencies in petroleum sector, upgrade and infrastructural development, the fund's new strategic direction, university upgrade project. The NNRA prioritized to regulate the bulk storage distribution, marketing, transportation, pipelines of petroleum products, ensure efficient, safe, effective, and sustainable infrastructure development. Sorry, this is NMDPRA, not NN. I think there was a mix-up here. It is not the Nuclear Regulatory Agency. It is actually NMDPRA that prioritize to regulate the bulk storage, distribution, marketing, transportation of pipeline products, ensure efficient, safe, effective, and sustainable infrastructural development in midstream and downstream petroleum operations, promote competition and private sector participation in midstream and downstream petroleum operations, ensure security of supply development of market and competition in natural gas and petroleum product markets. The NCDMB prioritized building capabilities and competencies. They fund new strategic direction, upgrade and infrastructural development, universities upgrade project, and Project 100. So, what are the top priorities to take 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years? As interpreted by the Ministry of Petroleum. To train youths in skills development and empowerment, corporate social responsibility, industry-driven training and talent acquisition, bid rounds, and cost reduction. We felt these are the ways we can contribute to developing capacities and creating opportunities. We have targets. What are the targets? What is the progress made? What are the key issues? And what are the support required? Of course, as you know, this is all based on the 9 mandate areas given to us. So the first mandate, to eradicate smuggling of PMS across Nigeria's borders. What is our target? Our target is to ensure energy sufficiency in power and petroleum products, ensure reduction in volume of smuggled PMS through improved technology, including DAPMIS and MPMS, PMS equalization to close differential costs, undertake routine end-to-end tracking of petroleum product cargoes using Lloyd's List, intelligence, and refinery. What is the progress that have been achieved in this towards achieving this target? We relaunched Project White for monitoring and tracking of product distribution nationwide. 255,659 truck out equalized. 11,622,926 liters equalized. 173,200,000 over 173 million naira approximately equalization paid from the equalization fund. 1,277 supplying vessels tracked. Over 25 million liters of total PMS discharged. 66.7 million liters average daily sufficiency. Over 24 million liters total truck out volume. Towards our mandate, our second mandate, to complete the gas flare commercialization program. What is our target? 80% completion of the gas flare commercialization program. LPG penetration for product availability. Intervention programs such as Nigerian Gas Expansion Program. Stakeholder engagement evaluation and study on impact of gas penetration program in the Nigerian economy, consultancy service for the development of CNG, LNG template for the agency's advisory services. What progress have been achieved towards our target? 8.6% change in domestic LPG demand. Over 1 million metric tons of domestic LPG consumption achieved. Evaluation studies ongoing, 50% completed. Framework review ongoing. 48 flare sites have been identified. 6 of them have been taken out of the basket because they are not commercially viable, because the flare volumes are minimal. The plan is that these flare sites will be allocated by Q1 2023. Towards our third mandate, to increase crude oil production by 3 million barrels per day. That already speaks volumes towards our targets. To mobilize domestic revenues and eliminate revenue leakages. Optimize crude oil production in existing wells. Increase exploration activities to achieve target. To reduce contracting cycle to at least 6 months. Mature other existing opportunities within the frontier and local production. Improve security in operating environment to protect pipelines. These are the targets. What have we achieved towards achieve these targets? The emplacement of contracts for pipeline surveillance and security, setting up of control center for crude oil movement tracking. That has been achieved. Deep drilling. That means that we are now drilling deeper, trying to explore deeper horizons to be able to increase our production. Complete 2D seismic data acquisition in the Bida Basin. Inaugurated multi-agency security support committee for Chad Basin re-entry. Set up response team to repair any interference on pipeline network. Resolution of 1993 PSC dispute, which holds over 90% of our deep water production, that is expected to unlock about $500 billion revenue and about $30 billion in foreign direct investment. To flag off, we have also flagged off the Kolmani Integrated Development Project with contribution of about 120,000 barrels per day. Towards our fourth mandate, reduction of cost of crude oil extraction. What are the targets? Ensure proper project definition as required for sanctioning. Create shared industry spare parts database. Improve capabilities in cost engineering and project management. Minimize single sourcing. What progress has been made towards achieving these targets? We relaunched the ministerial committee with new mandates on cost reduction and crashing long contracting cycles. Also launched the upstream cost optimization initiative. deployed express project cost database, sustained transparency, accountability, and performance excellence initiative. Let me just say for the first time that the key issues towards achieving this now is first the funding of the committee's activities, which we are still discussing, but we are making good progress there. We've been able to achieve, in fact, a 5% reduction, but we are actually aiming to achieve more than this, which was the mandate given to us. The mandate given to us was to reduce the cost by at least 5%, which we have been able to achieve, but we want to even achieve more. Towards our fifth mandate, aggressively promote the passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill. Our target was a bill was passed by the National Assembly, assented to by Mr. President in 2021. That was the target. What has been achieved? That target has been achieved 100%. And the PIA Implementation Committee has been constituted. Upstream Commission has been established and working. Mid and Downstream Authority been established and working. And NMPC Limited has been established and working. Let me just use this opportunity to make this explanation. A lot of people have come to ask whether NMPC is still under the Ministry of Petroleum. And I always say, yes, NMPC still is under the Ministry of Petroleum. NMPC is not a private company, it is 100% government owned. What has happened is NMPC is now a commercial company, and we allow them to operate commercially, but they are still NMPC Limited, 100% owned by the federal government of Nigeria, and still under the purview of the Ministry of Petroleum. Now, towards our sixth mandate, promote passage of deep offshore and inland basin production sharing contract amendment. Our target was also to pass this bill to law. That was actually one of the first achievements we made, and that bill has actually been passed. So the progress that has been made is that the PIA, the Deep Offshore and Inland Basin Production Sharing Contract Amendment Act has been passed, and we have achieved it 100%. The only thing I would like to announce here also is that it has been passed and has also been repealed under the PIA, under section 310. Because the PIA now has taken over. It has also incorporated everything that was already in that act. So there is no need to have two laws on the same matter. So that act has been repealed after passage. That we've been able to achieve that mandate as well. Our mandate number 7 is to work with private sector operators to increase domestic refining capacity. What are the targets? Our target is to establish condensate refineries, encourage the establishment of private refineries, complete valuation for rehabilitation of 4 of the 4 existing refineries, establishment of modular refinery intervention fund, establishment of crude oil domestic supply obligation. What progress have we achieved? What progress have we made towards achieving these targets? Licenses, we've issued licenses for prospective investors for the establishment of refineries. Modular refineries have been established, that we are already partnering with some private sector investors to establish some modular refineries. Walter Smith is one of those. Walter Smith refinery, a 5,000 barrel per day refinery, has been functional for more than 2 years now. Azikel refinery is also a partnership that is ongoing. ANO is also a partnership that is ongoing. DuPont is a partnership that is also ongoing. Then we have we are also involved in the rehabilitation of existing refineries. And NNPC's equity holding in Dangote refinery, you know, NNPC had to take 20% in Dangote refinery and 3 other refineries to increase our footprint in that sector. Now, what are the key issues there? Some of these refineries have been completed, I must say, some of these modular refineries, but we have a challenge which we are still working out on crude oil supply obligations to them. That's why a few of them have still not started functioning. But these are issues that within the next few weeks we'll be able to resolve. Towards our next mandate, to collaborate with private sector to create a large number of jobs, well-paying jobs. What's our target? Conduct skills gap analysis, development of industrial parks for manufacturing, promote policies to encourage domestic investment, development of gas-based industrialization, e.g. petroleum, petrochemical industry, improve education, health, and productivity of Nigerians. What progress have we made? PTI collaborated with Ashtiven Renewable Energy to train Niger Delta youths on solar photovoltaic installation. PTI, National Skill Qualification Framework, has trained youths on automobile, mechatronics, welding and fabrication, and electrical maintenance. Establishment of modular refineries, which created at least 10,000 direct and indirect jobs in country. FID taking for the brass fertilizer and petrochemical plant. The PTI Skill Development Academy and Entrepreneurial Center has trained youth within the host community on several hands-on skills like making of soaps, perfumes, disinfectants, bleach, catering, baking, bag making, etc. Finally, what is our target towards achieving our mandate number 9? Center for Skill Development and Training in Port Harcourt to be completed. Development of Federal Polytechnic, Bonny. Development of Center for Petroleum and Energy Studies, Kaduna. establishment of ICT centers, university upgrade, overseas local scholarship awards, skill gap audit review. These are the targets. What have we achieved? Project work is up to 91%. The completion of the Skills Development Center in Port Harcourt, the development of the Federal Polytechnic is 95% complete now. So we are very certain that we'll be able to complete the outstanding 5% between now and the time for the exit of this administration. So generally, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the ministry has succeeded in passing landmark statutes such as the Deep Offshore and Inland Basin Act, as well as the Petroleum Industry Act. It has also secured funding for the rehabilitation of the 3 existing refineries to ensure the nation's domestic refining capacity. The gas flare commercialization program is at the final stage of award of the flare points to potential winners. The ministry has encouraged more indigenous participation by facilitating crude access and ease of license approval. The 5% reduction in the cost of crude oil extraction was also achieved. And as you are aware, this administration has been able to also award marginal fields to people we know that have capacity in Nigeria, something that has not been done by previous administrations. With all these achievements and the drive of the National Gas Expansion Program, the ministry is well on track and on course to actualize Mr. President's aspiration as captured in the 9 priorities areas handed down to us in 2029. Thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.